Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Fallout 76 guide, and it's time to explore the new Pioneer Scout mission called The Order of the Tadpole. Welcome back guys, and Bethesda has really delivered what we wanted: content. This mission delivers lots of content, and this is going to be a long video, so the intro is going to be short because, well, it's very self-explanatory as I'm going to walk you through the entire mission. So let's start. To begin this mission, you have two ways to do it. You can simply go to the atomic shop and then go to camp, and you will see a new free poster to claim, just as the past missions with the sheep squatch and also the Biv missions for brewing. So just get it and then add it to one of your camp walls, and that will allow you to get into it very quickly. You can also go to stations and read the poster. There is tons of them in every single station right now, so that's another way to do it. Anyway, at your camp, the poster will be located in wall decor, as you can see, and once you access the poster, you will get this small message, and then your map will have a new highlight, which means you have to go there. So let's go to Camp Lewis and meet the Pioneer Scouts, finally. Or what's left of their camp and their costumes, you know. So just follow the path here, or you can head straight to where the circle is pointing. When you arrive here, the circle will become smaller, and basically you have to go in here in the middle of all the cabins. And you should easily spot the scout leader. He talks quite funny. Just interact with him and you will start the mission. If he's buggy, click him over and over until he responds to you. But in the end, he speaks a lot. That's why I'm affording by 3 times. Because, as you can see, he has a lot to tell you. And then, that's great, everything is great. He will give you a Pioneer Scout Tadpole uniform and a frog habitat recipe, which will be handy later on. But basically, that's how you get everything started. You will then get 4 sub-tasks to do, and I decided to come here first to the north at the Kiddie Corner cabins. And you can start a new mission right here. In front there is a new robot as well. It's called Operation Tidy. It's a repeatable mission. And this scout leader is incredibly annoying. So I advise you not to listen to him too much, or you might lose some brain cells. Not kidding, by the way. So they ask you to clean some toxic waste around the Grafton city, and this is a bit like the Pass the Buck daily mission, if you have ever done it. It's very similar, and I'm not sure if the places to clean are the same for every player. If they are, then here you go. You can easily see where they are if you have any difficulties doing this part. But basically, you only have to go to the marks in your map, collect the toxic goo, of course, and once you are all done, you can go and deposit them in a barrel. So the last ones are a bit tricky. One is inside that hole and the other in the small house, but nothing difficult. Then we have to go back again to the Kiddie cabins and deposit the toxic waste in these blue barrels. And that's pretty much it. It's very simple, it's quite fast, and that's great because we need it. Then let's go to the Dolly Sod Wilderness, where we have the next part of the mission. This one is called Stings and Tangs, and basically what they ask you here is to collect parts of different insects. And if you check the map, you have different circles across the Mire region. And I decided to go to the very south here at Big B's rest stop. If you have it, just go there because it's close to 2 of the circles and we can easily do them at once, I would say. Here at the first one, you need to look for this tree house and the stingwings will be around it. If you see them dead, just server jump and that should be pretty much it. Collect her loot and then head to the next circle, which is here, and you need the thick sacks. I left the others for whoever comes next. Then you should head to the closest location to this circle. To me is Relay's Clay's bunker, and we need to find this little shack here for the rat roach meat. Again, if you don't see them, just server jump because too many people are trying to do this. Then let's go to the South Tampon estate, and inside the main house you will often find the bug that we need. I had to server jump here several times, but it is here. So as you can see, the blood bug, it's giant and it drops exactly what we need. Now the last item that we need is at the very north of the map, and I went to the Freddy Fear's House of Scares because it's the closest I have. I had to do some walking, but that's okay. And once you get here, you will find these flies. They are very random. And I had to chase across the remains of the corpse to get the remaining item. But that's totally fine. So let's go back to the scout leader. And the mission will now be done. Just talk to him several times because sometimes he's quite buggy, as you can see. But once he responds to you, the mission will be completed and we can move forward. Now keep in mind that we have just done the easiest part. The challenging one is about to come because we now have to do 3 world challenges for the Pioneer Scouts. And if you browse your world tab, you will see these Tadpole new challenges. They weren't here before, as obvious, and there are many of them. It's like one for each class. So in here you have to choose 3 of them to complete the mission, and after studying each one I decided to go for Mammalogist, then for Archer and for Athlete. Why? Because they seem the most familiar to me in comparison with most of the others, which I had no idea how to do. Now I know how to do some more and I will probably cover that in other videos. But yeah, I choose these 3 and that's how the mission guide will go from here. I will do these 3 Tadpole challenges and you can do them as well if you choose. So I will provide you every single detail you need to accomplish them and complete your mission. So let's go. The very first challenge I chose was Mammalogist. Why? Well, because it's mostly about taking pictures of animals and I happen to know a very good spot for most of them. So here are the 11 tasks that you have to do in case you don't want to keep checking your tapping game. It's a little help. And well, I had this rat tag around my house, so I instantly took a picture, but I will show you a location for it too, so don't worry. Let's head to the Overseer's camp and I will show you the location where you can find most of the animals that they ask you for this challenge. So it's right here in front of the camp across the river, and basically it's around here in the river's line, and the animals always spawn in this area. As you can see, there is an opossum and a firefly. We only need the opossum, so picture taken. And from here, all you have to do is server jump over and over and over until you find most of them. So there are cats, very beautiful ones. There is also the rat stag, as you saw before. There is a squirrel, a fox, a rabbit, frogs, but we don't need frogs. Also, if you don't know how to craft a camera fill for your camera, I have a guide about it. It should help you out if you are having problems. I'm putting the link up there. Anyway, you can get all the animals here apart from Brahmins, wolves, and Yaoguais. These three you cannot get here. So for the Brahmins, let's head to the Queen Country Lodge. It's very close. And you can find 7 Brahmins in the area. So there is a pack of 3 around here, and you can milk them, of course, or try to. We need 10 successful milking actions. And then you can find another 4 a little bit ahead, just across this house. There they are. Don't forget to take a picture of one of them when you are done milking or during milking. You can simply server jump when you are not being successful. I did that a few times and it does work. It's very efficient. Now, when you are done massacring the poor animals, it's time to move on to find some wolves. I know that there are some fixed spots in the world, but I'm not quite sure where, to be honest. So leader of the pack is probably your most assured way to do this. You can also try free range because wolves spawn there quite often. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Then head to Dolly Sod's Wilderness, where you can always find 2 Wagwais around it, and one of them is a glowing one. I suggest you to go inside your power armor to avoid chaotic damage to you and your armor. And then you can just take a photograph and run away, or kill him and take a photograph when he's in pieces. It also works, that's no problem for the game. And that's it. We are almost done. Now head to the Pioneer Scout Camp for the final exam. And boy, they are difficult. Particularly, some of them are very difficult. So please use Google, search for the answers, because Bethesda has done it quite smartly for this one. And I think there are like 10 to 20 questions per category. And they mix them up every time you do a new test, so there is no solution for each test, because every time you do the test there are different questions. Of course, eventually they repeat and you will probably know the answer. That's what happened to me in one of the exams where I had to do it like 20 or 30 times, I don't know. But basically, just try and Google the answers if you really don't know or you are not certain. It will save you a lot of time. Trust me. So, but if it happens that you have the same questions as me, then here you have the answers. You don't need to search anymore. But yeah, as I said, some tests are more difficult than others, but the Mammalogist is not the hardest. I think it's one of the easiest actually. So after this, I have chosen to do Archer because it's only 5 tasks and they are not so complicated. Besides that, it had a training session, which I know how to do because I was exploring for Athlete as well. So things became very clear what I had to do. Let's check it out. For the Tadpole World Challenge Archer, you need to do 5 things. So you need to pass the exam, which is not that difficult either. You need to complete the Pioneer Scouts shooting test, which is very easy. Then you need to craft some crossbow bolts, you need to repair a crossbow, and you need to kill 50 enemies with your crossbow as well. So I started by doing the exam because I was already there from the previous World Challenge to complete to Mammalogist 1. So it didn't take me many tries to actually complete this one. Some of the questions I actually knew because they just make sense, and others I used Google to find out, just like this one. And voila, the exam is done, and now it's time to do all the other things. So I started by crafting a crossbow because I didn't have one. I made it as high as possible with my perk, because more damage equals killing faster, and since we have to kill enemies with it, it seemed the most logic thing to do. Then I crafted some crossbow bolt because I had no ammo, and it's also part of the mission. And I ran out of steel very quickly, so I had to farm some steel, and then I headed to the Morgan town, which is a very low place. The enemies are like level 1, level 3, and it's the ideal place to one-hit enemies with your crossbow, and it's basically one shot, one kill. And that's exactly what we want here. We need 50 kills and around 50 bolts. Unless you miss a lot, then you're going to need way more. But basically, just go to a low level area. It doesn't have to be Morgantown. I came here because I know there are plenty of enemies. It's, you know, it's a very good location for this. But you can choose any other, as long as you get 50 kills. That's what the challenge wants from you. Well, if you have or had enough steel, then you should have crafted all the crossbow bolts that they request from you, because you're going to need it anyway. I did it in the middle of my killing because I didn't have enough steel in the first try, as you saw. But then I did it, and one last thing to do. Then you should start repairing your crossbow, even if it's basically full in durability, because we need to repair it 3 times. I know it's such a waste of resources, but it's what we have to do for this challenge. So gather the materials, or if you have them already, then just use your crossbow a little bit to make the durability go down a little bit, and then go back to your workbench and repair the crossbow until you have 3 times done. Now, for the sake of the shooting range, you need to come here to the Pioneer Scout camp again. And to the right side of it, there's this archery camp, and you can start the archery test as well. And all you have to do is aim your bow, or in this case your crossbow, at the targets and hit the very center. You have time limit, which is more than enough to do this. And when you hit the yellow middle, you hear this sound, which means you hit the target as they want. And when you hit the last target, you do it. The challenge is done, if it's your last one. And that's pretty much it. Simple enough, huh? So, to complete the archer challenge though, you need to get the 3 repairs on your crossbow. And I was missing one, so I just went around my base and I damaged my crossbow, and then I repaired it one last time. And there you go. The challenge is also done. Let's move on to the third and last one, the athlete. So the athlete challenge is probably the easiest of the 3 I have done. I just found out after I completed it. So you need to pass the exam as usual. Then you need to have at least 5 strength and 5 agility points, which almost everyone has. Then you need to complete 3 different courses, in which the first is here at Camp Adventure. And they have added these new locations to, well, already existent locations, and it's like extensions of them. And the Camp Adventure course starts or ends in here, so that's the very ending. But if you follow it all the way through, you will easily find the start. That's what I did here to find it. And it's exactly like the shooting course at the Pioneers camp. So there is this little machine that you can click, and then the test will start. And this is pretty much like the test in Camp McClinton, where you have to basically go through the obstacles and reach certain points of the course. And you will hear these sounds every time you reach one of these points. Just follow the yellow flags when you see them. And of course go on top of things, otherwise it won't count and you have to go back and do it again. And it's pretty simple and straightforward. Very quick to do as well. So that's the first one. We have 2 more to go. And they are just as simple, so don't freak out. Now let's go to Sunnytop Skylines, where there is also a new course. It's right at the back, like in the backyard of the houses, after these little radio house here. And as you can see, there is a yellow flag there. then that's where you want to go. It's right there to the right. But you might want to clear the place first. The super mutants are quite strong here, and if you get all of them at you, you might end up dead because they have, well, explosives and so on. It's not very nice to tank their damage. So once you are done with that, you can simply start the test. And keep in mind that is not an obstacle course. It's basically a hiking way where you have to go all the way down and follow the yellow flags, basically. There are a few traps on the way, so be careful. Like I found a grenade and some spikes in the floor. Also some broken bridges. There you go, one of them. It's the second one. And it's very dangerous if you also do big jumps because you can get hit by fall damage, so be careful. But overall, this is a very easy test to do, so don't worry about too much difficulty here. The third test is at the new River Gorge resort at the bridge. So you can fast travel here to access the test. It's right at the start of the bridge. And this one is a bit tricky, so I got lost here mainly because of a bug. But if it happens, it's fine, just go back and it should be fine. If not, you can repeat the tests. It's a bit annoying, but that's the only way to get it done. So first we have to go forward and you just ignore the enemies. I killed that one, but the rest I pretty much ignored. And in here, they are supposed to tell you where to go, and they didn't tell me anything. So I kept going a little bit, and then I figured out, well, this can't be, it's too long without a checkpoint. So I went back, like all the way back up there, and then a point showed up. Like I was here before, but I guess it's a bug. Then you have to go below the bridge. Just follow the yellow flags as usual. And as you can see, it's super buggy and it's not showing. So if you see the flags, just go there, even if the game doesn't tell you exactly where to go, because that's where you must go and must check. Once you get up to the bridge again, things get much easier. And if you are very low on time, just rush it. You know, if you have marsupial, then it's a big plus here. You can just jump over things and go to the checkpoints on the side when they ask you to. You don't have to walk all the way on these metal bars. They are very dangerous. You can easily fall and you will die. So that's pretty much it. And now the challenges are all done. I mean the tests. The real challenge is the exam. Damn, this is the hardest one I've done. And I've done others like the cooking one and the medic one. The athletic exam is just horrible. It's just so much questions about sports rules. And honestly, I don't know a thing about sports rules. I'm horrible. So I had to search almost every single question. And even then I got some wrong. So after like 20 attempts, I was finally able to do it. And that will allow me to complete the mission. So after this, I had to ask someone to die so I could revive them. And here I suggest you to ask a friend. If you don't have friends online or at all, then go to stations or go to other players and try to ask them. Normally people are kind and supportive in this game, so you shouldn't have much of an issue to do this part, which was the last one for me. And once you have revived a player, you can also try in big events like Encrypted or the Scorched Heart, where people die all the time. Then you can head back to Pioneer Scout Camp, where you have to talk to the leader, the scout leader. And after he talks a little bit, you will finally complete the Order of the Tadpole, and you will receive your backpack plan. It's like auto-learned already. Then all you have to do is head to a armor bench, and you have a new section called backpack. You can craft any level you want, and then all you have to do is equip it to get the carry weight bonus. Now you can also mod it in terms of appearance, because you have just earned a skin for it with the quest, but there are no other mods if you haven't done anything else. I'm still wondering how to get the mods, but I'm sure I will figure it out very soon. Anyway, that's everything. It was a very long mission. It was very hard to cover all of these in one single video, but I did it for you. It's a complete walkthrough, and I hope that I have helped you in one way or another. I am Marta Branco. Thank you so much for watching, and if you have any questions, do let me know below. Other than that, that's going to be everything. If you are new, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. It helps me a lot. And also, if you would like to support me, then you can also check my new Patreon page. And I will see you very soon in the next video. Bye bye!